So it's really important with real estate because remember back to some other videos, one of the magical things about investing in real estate is that you get to depreciate the asset. So the improvements like the building, the pavement, the sidewalks, the wiring, those kind of things you can depreciate. I mean, they don't last forever. So the IRS allows you to say, hey, they're worth less. So I have that loss from depreciation. That reduces your taxable income. Hey folks, Ashley Garner here. So check it out. The other day we talked about how to determine whether or not you are a real estate professional in the eyes of the IRS, or RE as they advertise, as they abbreviate it. And you had to meet the two tests, 50% and the 750 hours. So you can refer back to that video if you're interested in determining if you are a real estate professional or not. But here's why that could be significant in your life. So I got back here on the whiteboard some very fancy artwork as per my usual. So are you a real estate professional? If so, if you've passed those two tests, if so, it could be very exciting. And this is why. So the IRS taxes you with, or they call income and losses, they put them into buckets, right? So you got an ordinary income bucket and you got the passive income bucket, all right? And they don't mix. You can't cross them. See these double lines, like you can't cross one from the other, okay? So what that means is if you have an ordinary income, then you can only reduce your ordinary income with an ordinary loss or a loss from an ordinary income source. And then you get your taxable ordinary income, okay? Now, if you've got passive, same thing. If you've got passive income, say you're you're a contractor or a doctor or whatever, and you have a rental house. Well, most likely that rental house is going to be deemed, or the income from it will be deemed passive income. So the only thing you can do to reduce the passive taxable income is have a passive loss, which then results in your taxable passive income. Okay. So here's the exciting part, right? They don't mix, but if you're a real estate professional in the eyes of the IRS, like me, then all of my income from my real estate activities, whether it's my team and I, a buyer or a seller and making a commission selling a house, or whether it's income from the rental properties, for me, that goes all in as ordinary income. So what that means is if I have a loss from those activities, it reduces that ordinary income. And then I get a lower taxable income. So it's really important with real estate because remember back to some other videos, one of the magical things about investing in real estate is that you get to depreciate the asset. So the improvements like the building, the pavement, the sidewalks, the wiring, those kind of things you can depreciate. I mean, they don't last forever. So the IRS allows you to say, hey, they're worth less. So I have that loss from depreciation. That reduces your taxable income. That doesn't mean that you don't get cash. You could still get the cash, but the paper loss here means you have lower taxable income. So when you get that K1 and says, okay, now you got to pay taxes on this income, and that income is lower because of the depreciation and the losses that it provides. So it's a big deal. Again, you can't mix them, but if you are a real estate professional and all of that goes into that bucket, then you may be able to reduce your ordinary taxable income. So if you're that contractor, you're that doctor or whatever, and your spouse has a real estate license and is active and passes the real estate license or the real estate professional criteria by the IRS, then it is possible that your jointly filed married tax return can use your losses from real estate to offset your income from being a contractor or a doctor or whatever. Now, this is huge, okay? But it's individual to each situation. Each person is different. Each person's setup is different. Each married couple is different. So you need to make sure you talk to your tax preparer, but you need to make sure you ask. Not all tax preparers are savvy with this. Some have their niche and some know this, some don't. But you need to ask. It's just like going to the doctor and, doctors know a lot and I'm grateful for them. But if you don't ask your specific question, then they may not think to bring it up. We're all just human beings, right? So if you are an investor or you want to be, and if you want to reduce your own taxable income, then you need to ask that question. You need to study this, ask ChatGPT to tell you all about it. Call me. We'll talk about it. But definitely ask your tax preparer, because ultimately that's who's going to prepare the stuff that's sent to the IRS. Okay? This is a big deal. You need to learn about it. You need to know it and take advantage of it if you can, because there's no use paying more taxes than you have to. Okay? See you.